What's going on, guys? Thank you again for tuning in to the BS Show. Steven and I have been working hard to grow this channel, and we appreciate everyone that tunes in. I think our sub count is finally over 300, so it's a slow grind, but hey, we're getting there. But I want to change pace a little bit on this video. We normally talk about fighting, or we're drinking, or we're watching sports or something, but I wanted to talk about the Chris Watts story. I don't know if any of you have heard, and if you're like me and you just kind of don't really watch the news a whole lot, it was a story of the guy that lived in a suburb of Denver, and he killed his whole family. He was married, killed his wife, killed his two daughters, and I know you're probably thinking like, wow, that's kind of weird, Brett. Why do you want to talk about that? And the reason why is I think everybody at some point is interested in serial killers, why people kill, why, they look normal, they're working a normal job, and then they go home and they turn into this completely different person. And that's what happened to me in this case. I remember hearing about it. It happened in August of 2018, so not even quite a year yet. But I was actually looking at YouTube the other day, and a video popped up, and I clicked on it, and it was about the Chris Watts story. So I kind of listened, and then it just completely grabbed me. And over the past few days, I have been watching it and listening to jail interviews, and I went to the trial, and it was just really, really crazy. So this picture that I have up right now is a picture of him when he was pretending to be scared because his family was missing. And this was actually a news crew was interviewing him, and he was pleading for the public. So as you see, he looks like a normal guy. He's clean cut. He worked a good job. He had a big, nice house. He had a nice car. He had a wife who was pregnant, and he had two kids. So from the outside, everybody thought that this guy was just totally normal. Well, what ended up happening is he was cheating on his wife. His wife knew that something wrong was going on. They started arguing really early in the morning. He got on top of her. He strangled her. And then he took her with his two young daughters that were 3 and 4 years old with him. He buried his wife, who was pregnant, with his son in a shallow grave, and then he did the heinous crime of smothering his both daughters, and he put them in huge oil tanks. He shoved them in there. Well, the problem with all that was his wife just got home the night before super late from a work event or something like that, and she had plans with a friend the next morning. And the friend realized she wasn't calling, she wasn't texting, she hadn't came out of the house, she was worried. So the friend was actually already getting all this, the police going and everything while Chris was at work. So he just really poorly executed this whole thing. He didn't have all of his ducks in a row. He just really, really, really poorly did this. Obviously, he ends up getting caught. He initially tried to say that his wife killed the daughters, so he killed her. But as the investigators kept hounding on him, he cracked. And he admitted to doing it. And I listened to one of the jail interviews that he had now that his court's done. He's obviously got life sentences for the wife, the unborn son, and then the two daughters. He's never getting out of jail again. He doesn't even have the possibility of parole. But, I watched the jail interview, and what he said was that he felt like something has taken over his body. He says now he knows what he was doing was wrong. He knew at the time that he was doing it was wrong. He knew, but he just couldn't stop himself. He was in such a fit of rage. He wanted everything gone. He just wanted to get away, which is why he did it. So I thought that was very interesting. And as I'm listening to him speak, I'm asking myself, does everybody, good, bad, normal or not normal, does everybody have evil in them? Is everybody capable of doing evil, or is that something that only very few people have, and it just takes certain things to come out? Because like I said, from the outside, this dude looks as normal as can be. He was nice. Everybody that knew him said he was a very nice guy. He didn't even date until he was like 18 years old. He was very shy, very, just very, very quiet. And it makes you think, what causes somebody to do this? Do we all have the ability to snap at any time and not control ourselves? Because now that he's in jail, now that he's serving a life sentence, now that he's killed his wife, his two daughters, no one wants to talk to him, no one wants to deal with him, he still has pictures in his cell of his wife and his kids. He said that he reads to his daughter. He brought a book that he read to him. He still reads to him every night. He still prays every night about it, about him wanting God to forgive him. So is that him back to his normal state? It's just now it's too late? Or is that him trying to cover his tracks for when he meets his maker? I don't know. But that's what really stood out to me about this, was how crazy people can snap, or when their emotions are running high. And that's kind of why I wanted to get on here and talk about this, because we all probably know that we're capable of some kind of evil. It's just some people may be capable of more evil than others. And I just think that it's rooted in us because, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, people were killing and we were living and it was all survival. So I feel like that's part of our DNA. But now with all the laws and regulations that we have, obviously it's frowned upon to kill your family. But what I'm trying to say is that now we see it completely differently. But I'm curious to know what you guys think. I'm curious to know if you guys heard this story, if anybody's followed this story, because it just really stuck out to me how a seemingly average guy with a family, a growing family, all because he didn't want to be with his wife anymore, he decided to kill them all. And that's what the prosecutor said. He pretty much said that he thinks his motive was because he wanted a fresh slate and he couldn't start that fresh slate without getting rid of his family. Now, a normal person would just get a divorce. A normal person would tell their wife they don't want to be with them. But I'm interested to know in the comments below what you guys think of this, because it's very, very intriguing to me. Now, obviously, Chris Watts is saying that he's sorry. He didn't mean to do it. If he could go back in a time machine, he would. But, everybody says that. But do you guys really think that we all have an element of evil in us that we can bring out? Or do you think that there's only certain people that are psychos? It's just a matter of time before it comes out. So thank you for watching my video, guys. Go check out the story. It's all over YouTube. It was all over the news worldwide for a long time. Like I said, I just kind of live under a rock sometimes. So let me know what you think, guys. Thank you for tuning in.